Hi, my name is Rakesh Singh and I welcome you on this jQuery video session. Thank you so much for joining Naresh IT Technologies video session. In this today video session, we are going to discuss drop-down list example using jQuery functionality. Means how to work on the drop-down list control, or you can say drop-down list element which gets created in HTML document by using select tag using jQuery functionality. So we'll discuss very important two examples in this video session. The example number 1, in which we are going to have a set of options in the drop down list, and in that user must select any option, and after that we'll have a button called submit. Whenever user click on the submit button, then it needs to check any of the specific option is selected in drop down list or not. If yes, then that selected option text and their value to be displayed on the page into the some container like a paragraph or div. If user has not selected any specific option, then display a message no option selected. So example number 1, you can observe here now, display what is a text value of a selected option in a drop down list. When a user click the submit button, if any specific option is not selected, then display message no option selected. This is the example number 1, which is the basic requirement. And example number 2 we'll discuss in the today video session only. Display text value of a selected option in a drop down list when a user change the selection. Means while user selecting, whenever previous selection change with another selection, so on selection time only display what user has selected the option, their text and their value. If any specific option is not selected, then display message please select any option on the page only. So suppose we have the 5 option and one option I am displaying as a text to the user, please select. So user has to select any option. If user has not selected any of the 5 among the 5 option, any one option, then displaying message please select any option. So these two example, let us implement practically using the jQuery functionality. How to be done that? So for this we are moving to what is it, Visual Studio environment. Right. So this is the Visual Studio environment in which I have one page with me. The name is HTML page.html, and here in this HTML page I have a drop down list which I have been created using the HTML tag called select. So you can observe over here, select language, there is a HTML tag select ID DDL1, and it is having set of options. There are set of options are there. Option value is empty, and for this text is what select. You know very well, in the drop down list environment by default one option will be selected. So if you have not given any which option to be selected, then by default always the first option to be selected. So this select option is going to come as select. So that gives a meaning to the user, hey user, you need to select some option. And actual options are nothing but these all 5, nothing but these all language option. Which one? Option value, short name I have given VC hash, Visual C hash, Visual Basic, for that value VV, Visual F hash, for that value VF hash, Visual J hash, VJ hash, Visual C++, VC++. These are the what name of the languages which are going to be appeared in the form of drop down list in order to allow user to select any one option. So by default first option selected and name select. It means user has to select any of these language option. User forget to select and click on what button? Submit. Then immediately identify there is any option user has selected or not. If not, then display a message into what? This div which are having ID div result. No option selected or no language selected, or please select any language. Whenever user click on the submit button, then. So for this we'll have the program over here. So in HTML, in the head section below title, I have the script with my JavaScript jQuery script file reference, and another script in which we'll write our JavaScript code using jQuery functionality, and jQuery code needs to be executed as soon as all HTML document is what loaded at the client side. So how to make sure entire HTML DOM is loaded by using the what ready event method, which is already registered to the which object, document object. Now what's the requirement is, for example number first, when user click on submit button, that time identify any of the option in drop down list is selected or not. If it is not, then display message no language selected or no option selected. If it is selected yes, then what is their text and what is their value, please try to fetch a display on the page. Selected language is this one and their value this one. So for this purpose we have to move on dollar of what is it hash btn submit, that is what button id btn submit. We are going to select this element. Why? Because we need to add the click event to the what button submit, because these all operation to be performed whenever user click on the what button submit. So btn submit dot what is it click of what is it function body open and close. In this we will write the code. So there are many ways are there how to identify which option selected on the button submit click among the all the options belong to a drop down list which we have created using the HTML select tag. I am going to write what is it get the selected option. First of all, which option selected, get that, and check their value if is not equal to empty. So this visual C# value is not empty, some value is there. If not equal to empty means what, any of these 5. If it is empty, the value of selected option, it means what, the first option. So what I am going to do here, I am writing where opt equals to dollar of hash ddl1 space option, means selecting all the options inside one drop down list which has an ID of ddl1. Your idea what is it, ddl1, and among those all option which option is selected, so colon what is it selected, right. So in this opt object, jQuery object, what is coming, one option is going to fetch which option is what is it selected, and we know the nature of drop down list allows a list of option, and in that list of option user cannot select more than one option, user must select any one option. So whichever option is selected in this drop down list with the ID of ddl1, that selected option written as a jQuery object into this opt variable whenever user click on the what button submit. Now you may check if opt dot what is the method, val method. Using val method we will get the value of selected option is not equals to what is it empty, then open the brace and close the brace. Is not equal to empty means some value is present for that particular selected option. So for these all options there is some value, you can observe the value, all options have the values. Only first option doesn't have any value, is empty. So if any option selected among these 5, it means their value is not equal to empty, then get their text and get their value and display into what is this div result. So simply what you do that here, right, you will be writing what, nothing but direct print in the div result or fetch some variable and then variable print that. So what I can do that, dollar of hash div result, right, dot html, and in this it is selected language, right, plus opt dot text method to get the text of selected option. This text if you want to fetch which option selected, then what is the method available, text method. If you want to get the value of this selected option, this value I want to fetch using jQuery, then what is the method, val method. So opt dot text plus, try to use one slash separator plus opt dot what is it, val method to get the value, this one, fine. So what I'm trying to do, as soon as button submit is going to click, then going to fetch selected option into the one drop down list with an ID of DDL1, that return a jQuery object to one variable what OPT. Now in this OPT what came? Selected option came. Now checking for the selected option, value is not equal to empty. So how to fetch value using val method? Is not equal to empty, it means the option must have some value, and if that option has value, it means the actual option user has selected among the any of the select options. So I have given here number of options, I am saying select among this number of option. If any option selected, then their value is there something. If user has not selected any option, by default what coming? Select, and their value is what? Empty. At that time if user click on the button submit, so what? Finding the selected option already select, and what is their value? Empty. I am checking here what is not equal to empty, then only this code block to be executed. Otherwise go to what part? Else part, and in the else part display message no language option selected, or any other message you can display that. So dollar of what is it? Hash, what is div result, right, dot HTML of a message in a bold form with a style something I can give, color colon what is it? Red, and a message no option selected or no language option selected. Whatever message you want display, you can display. It's not mandatory the same message display. What message I am trying to display? That no language option selected. This message must be appear to the user on the page if user has not selected any of the 5 language option. So by this way we are identifying on button submit click which option selected in the drop down list. What? First of all trying to fetch the selected option into this OPT, right? After that getting their value. If the value is not equal to empty, right, it means option is selected, then what is their text and what is their value? Fetch and concatenate to this text HTML method display into this container, the name is what? Div result. If their value is empty, it means user has not selected any of the 5 language. By default what selected? Select only. Select has what value? Empty. In that case go to what part? Else part, and display message no language option selected. Save it. Now comes to the browser window and try to refresh this HTML page which is already loaded into the browser window, right? Refresh that. So this coming, what is coming by default? Selected. Select. It means user has to select any of the language option among these all 5 languages. Yes, but user has forgot to select any of the language from this list of language options, and user click on what? Submit. Then simply display a message just below no language option selected. Click on submit. See the message what appear? No language option selected. But user is going to select some option, suppose Visual C#, nothing but Visual C hash, and click on the submit. Then which option selected? There what is the text? There what is the value? Display on the page into this place. So click on the submit. Selected language, what is that? Visual C hash, the text, and slash what is their value? VC hash. So you may require tomorrow to develop some program where on button submit click you want to fetch which option selected, and based upon the selected option you may wanted to get some information from the what is it? Server by making AJAX call. So before making the AJAX call you may require to fetch the selected option and get their text and get their value. At that text and that value you may require to submit to what side? Server side. So before submitting to server side, first of all at client side you should know which option is selected and what is their text and what is their value. Easily we are able to know that with the help of what is that? jQuery functionality. So this is the example number 1 in which what we have done, as soon as button submit click, getting the option, which option? Selected option, and is storing into this object. After that we using val method, getting what is the value. If value is not equal to empty, it means definitely some option is selected which has some value. Then come to here and display their value as well as text. If value is empty, it means the first option only it is already selected where value is what? Empty. Then come to else part, display message no language option selected. So by this code, by writing this line all of code, right, you can do this example. to identify which option is selected, what is their text, what is their value when user click on the button submit before submitting to what server to make any AJAX call to get data based upon the selected option and selected what is it option value. Now we will move on to what is that example number 2, in which what we required same example but don't want to identify which option is selected on button submit click. On selection itself something to be happen. On selection itself you may want to fetch some information from the server side. So before going to server side, before submit to server side, on selection itself you should know that which option selected, what is their text and what is their value. So I am just going to change, I will remove this entire code now. Button submit click also must be removed, and here what I am going to do that button submit I just remove that. I don't want this button submit. So I have the what drop down list which I have created using select tag which contain a list of option. In this there are 5 languages are there. Among these 5 languages a user can select any of the language. By default showing option selected as what select means that indicate user some language you need to select, and on selection itself which language user has selected display into this div, right, this option is selected, their text and their what is it value, means on selection itself. And by default first option will be selected, the name is select. If you are going to click on drop down list, so list is going to be open, right, and in the list all options are showing. If you are going to select suppose visual C#, right, nothing visual C hash, already what selected by default select selected. If you are going to select some other option, it means previous selection changed to what new selection. So whenever selection change, that time only need to identify which option selected. It means you need to handle what change event of the drop down list, not click event. Whichever you need to handle change event of drop down list. So what we do that, coming to this place, right, and writing dollar of hash ddl1, nothing but selecting the one element that has drop down list ID ddl1, and for this we are going to handle what event, change event of function body open and close, right. So this event gets fired whenever the any option selection getting changed into the one element that has an ID of ddl1. So for testing purpose, if you want to know whether this change event is going to fire or not fire, simply you write alert hello, right, save it and just run this page and try to change any selection. On selection change, alert hello is going to display or not. Let us check that so that we can understand, yes, change event is getting fired on selection change of the one element that has an ID of ddl1. So I just come to the browser, refresh the page, fine. By default what selected, select. Now I am going to click on this drop down, number of options are showing, number of language options showing, yes. In this number of language option, any of the language if you choose, it means previous selection changed to what new selection. So the change event must be fired, and in the simply I am displaying alert hello, means one alert box should come with the message hello to just check that whether change event is fired or not fired whenever selection is getting changed. So click on the visual C#, come on sir, you can see that on the page there is one alert box is appeared and message display what is it hello, okay button, click on that. Now what is selected, visual C hash. If you click on that and choose some other option, suppose visual basic, again alert box should display with the hello message, yes, what is it hello, okay. It means we are right, our change event is getting fired whenever selection is going to be changed. But what our requirement is not to display hello message, our requirement is which option selection changed, for that selected option what is the text and what is the value is available, try to fetch a display on the page into this div result. So for this purpose come down here and remove this, clear. So on change event try to get their selected option and their text and what is their value. So how we will get this one? So what will do, where opt equals to dollar of what is it, hash ddl1 space option colon selected. Fine. We got now this code what we wrote earlier on button submit click, same code writing on the what, change event. So this is going to return what is that, selected option inside drop down list 1 into the which variable, opt. And now their text and their value must be display into the what is that, page in the div result, which is available below the what is it, all the options, div id what is it, div result. So here we will be writing what is it, directly option text and value display. But I also want to check one condition. If user has selected not any of the language, selected select only, then don't display any things, display message please select any language option. So we are writing if condition opt dot val method is not equals to empty. Is not equal to empty means what? Some option is selected which has some value, that display into the div result. So dollar of hash div result, okay, dot html of selected language. What selected language? Their text and their value. So opt object dot what is the method, text method, got the text, plus I want to display their value also slash opt dot what is it, val method, opt dot val method to get the value. And if this condition became false, right, then go to what part, else part, and in else part display message in div result only dollar of hash div result, right, dot using html method in a bold form is style equals to, I just want to set a style color what is it, red is my requirement. It's not mandatory you must display right into the color red only, just I want to display it because this is a kind of error message if user has not selected any option. Then so here what is it, please select any language option. This is the message I just wanted to make it appear on the page, right. So almost completely same code only we have written what we have done for example number first, but that code was executing whenever user click on the word submit. Now the example number 2 requirement is display the selected option text and value when the user going to select that time only, means on selection change only this should be happen. That's what we are writing the code into what event, change event of one element, that is a drop down list element which is created using select tag and that has an ID of what is that, ddl1. Now save this page, right, everything is ready. Now save this page and come to the browser window, refresh the page. You can observe there is no submit button available. It means on this page something is going to be happen, something is going to show the output on the selection of language option itself. So this could be a client requirement, this could be a business requirement, show the list of languages option, and as soon as user select any of the language, then that time only some details of the language to be appear on the page. That could be the one requirement. Some client maybe put a requirement that display the list of language option in the form of drop down list, allow user to select any language, and after that click on the submit button. Once they click on submit button, then based upon the selected language option something to display on the page, either from client side only, either get some information from the server side. So in both case we need to identify which language option is selected, what is their text and what is their value. Then only we can do any further task in order to get some data from the server or XYZ, whatever you want to perform the task. So here what we'll do that, as soon as selected, suppose I am selecting Visual Basic language, Visual Basic and the value what is it, VB. Again I am selecting some other language, Visual C++. So selected language what? Visual C++, and their text, their value what is it? VC++. So on selection change only we are able to identify which option selected and what is their text and what is their value. Suppose user again click on the what? Select. User should not select option, but if it is selected select option, then displaying message please select any language option. So select language option giving here select, click on that, show many language options showing that. So among these all option you need to select any of the option, but if user has selected select only, that display message please select any language option. So this is all about working with a drop down list example using jQuery functionality, in which we have discussed two very important example to identify which option selected and get their text and get their value when user click on the submit button. That is a number one. And number two, to get that selected option and their text and their value whenever user is making selection change, nothing but on the selection time itself in order need to fetch and display the result to the page. I hope you have been understood these two examples and try to please practice on it. Thanks for watching Naresh IT Technologies jQuery video session. Keep watching and subscribe for more video.